Gemini horoscope for February 2020. Welcome, dear friends. This is your monthly horoscope, which will prepare you with the most important astrology events for February if your sun or rising sign is in Gemini. This month is gonna be very important because we have Mercury turning retrograde, and that's always important for you because that's the ruler of your sign. And also we have Jupiter in sextile with Neptune. This is one of the most exciting aspects for me during the whole year. I would say the most important one during February. Very inspirational, very spiritual, great for healing, for self-reflection. There is also a new moon in Pisces. Mercury will be retrograde in Pisces as well. So overall, the theme of the month is spiritual growth, connection with the inner self, reflection, slowing down a little bit, being more creative, and connecting with your inner wisdom. A very different month, very specific, but at the same time, I think that we can do a great inner work. We also have Valentine's Day, which will be another interesting event to prepare for. So I really hope that you will be able to find this inner peace that all of those aspects can potentially bring you. And with that being said, let's begin with the daily aspects, with the most important ones. We start with the 2nd of February. The day comes with a positive aspect between Venus in 10th house and Pluto in your 8th house. Especially beneficial aspect for business and for financial stuff. You can invest money, you can find resources for your business, you can focus on your desires when it comes to your work, achieve something meaningful for you, be more empowered, be more passionate about the things you are doing. So overall, very productive day. And on the 3rd of February, there is a similar situation because again, Venus in your 10th house will have a positive aspect, but this time with Saturn, which is also in 8th house. This is a great aspect to bring more structure, to reorganize your work, your finances, to be more responsible and more grounded about the things you want, why you want them, why they are important, and most importantly, how you can materialize them. On the same day, also Mercury is moving to your 10th house. This is also the position where Mercury will be retrograde later on during the month. And Mercury in 10th house brings the focus to career, to business, and all kinds of social plans and goals you might have. You can focus more on them, you can plan, you can organize things, you may have ideas about work and business, even negotiations in business can be more successful. So overall, that's a productive position. On the 5th of February, there is also a positive aspect which includes Mercury in your 10th house and Uranus in your 12th house. Great time for new ideas related to business, which you can apply, which you can experiment with. They can be exciting, they can be original, they can be new. And this is also great time for receiving some inner guidance or intuitively knowing what is it that you should do to get where you want to get. So it's both productive but also inspirational and can be positive even for spiritual work. On the 7th of February, Venus is moving to your 11th house. This position of Venus is very romantic. So you might be dreaming, you might be visualizing something you want to achieve in relationships. You might get more in touch with your own desires. Spending time with friends, with your community, especially with women, can be especially positive and just bringing you more joy. And overall, until the end of the month, Venus is there. So you have enough time to connect with the people that you really value, and to enjoy the time together. On the 9th of February, there is a full moon which triggers your 3rd and 9th house. Time to make changes when it comes to your goals and plans, especially about the smaller steps that you need to take in order to get to your final big goals. New ideas or letting go of ideas you don't need anymore, traveling, education. These are the most important themes that this full moon can bring you. Do you need to change something about those areas, or this can also be the culmination of something you have worked for, something you have prepared for, and this is also time to see things from a different perspective about your goals, about your vision, about your beliefs. Then we get to one of the most important days of the month, the 16th. This is the day when Mercury will turn retrograde. This happens in your 10th house, which means that the main focus is your career, your business, all kinds of social projects. It's not recommended to start brand new things, especially related to those areas. Be extra careful with business documents, with business negotiations, business trips. All of that may not go as planned. You may need to change or fix something, or it might just take longer than you were expecting. But you might restart old projects, you might get inspired to redo something, or just to connect to your own desires. What is it that you really want to achieve when it comes to your career and your business? Mercury will be retrograde there for approximately 3 weeks. On the same day, it's interesting that Mars will ingress your 8th house and will stay there for approximately 2 months. Mars in 8th house can push you to take certain risks, to experiment, to provoke certain situations. In some cases, it could bring some potential accidents, but only if Mars is having negative aspects with your personal planet. So only Mars in 8th house is not dangerous, but if it has at the same time challenging aspect with your planets, then you definitely need to be careful with potentially dangerous activities like extreme sports or something like that. Even financial stuff, you can take more risks, you can be more proactive. For investments, this can be also a productive period, but still be careful while Mercury is retrograde. On the 18th of February, there is another major event. The Sun will move to your 10th house, which is a very important position, focusing you more on your business, on your social projects, or what you want to achieve globally in your life. And what you are doing can be more visible for others, can be appreciated, acknowledged. You may just feel like you can really express yourself easier in social terms. And of course, business, work, they will be very important for the following month. And after Mercury goes direct, you might even want to start something new in that area. Until that happens, you might restart the projects or focus on the past or fix something related to your business as well. And the 20th of February is the other key day, which brings, I would say, the best aspect of the month, one which I'm so excited about. Neptune in your 10th house will have a sextile with Jupiter in your 8th house. Great time for defining your goals, be more in alignment with your inner self, be guided, and also help other people feel where is the area where you can really grow. From a practical perspective, this could be very beneficial financially, work-wise as well. But what's important here is to trust the process and to be in alignment with your own desires. This aspect can also help you to balance your energy. Even physical healing can be beneficial, can be easier, and I highly recommend you to focus on that if you need it, of course. Balance your energy, balance your health, and take better care of yourself. All of that can be especially helpful. Then on the 21st of February, positive aspect between Mars in 8th house and Uranus in your 12th house. Great aspect for trying new things, maybe trying and taking certain risks financially or secretly without other people seeing that or knowing that. But this is also great for spiritual work, energy practices, spiritual practices, some active meditations, or anything original and new that eventually can help you to balance your own energy. That's on an emotional level. You might have the ability to work with your inner self and really make a significant change. So again, as we said, the major themes of the month are spiritual healing. So this aspect specifically for you supports the same things as well. On the 22nd of February, the Sun in 10th house is having a positive aspect with Uranus in 12th house. Another positive aspect for career, for trying new things. Probably not brand new because Mercury is retrograde there, but just having this inspiration or desire to do something original. It could be an increased intuition which you can use in your business, or a positive surprise which you haven't expected, or just a desire for change. Overall, the major themes are work and business, but also spirituality and connecting with your inner self. The 23rd is also interesting because that's the time when we have the new moon in Pisces triggering your 10th house. New period, the beginning of a new cycle when it comes to career, business, social projects. You might put the beginning of something new. Probably you need to wait until Mercury goes direct, but after all, Mercury will go direct around the middle of, actually the beginning of March, and you would still have some time after that to try new things until the next new moon. But at the same time, it may also be great for restarting projects related to business, something you have tried in the past, maybe it didn't work out very well, it was not the time, or whatever the case. Now you can restart that. Or just you may prepare, you may plan which are the things you want to materialize when it comes to work and business. So it's interesting overall. At the same time, there is another aspect between Venus in your 11th house and Jupiter in your 8th house. This is a challenging aspect, but not a really stressful one. And you may find that you need to change something about your financial plans and goals, but also something may not be in alignment with your own desires related to finances or to friends and communication. These are the two areas which can be triggered. You may realize that you need to change something, that you are not getting what you really want, but that can also be helpful because it motivates you to make changes. Or with friends, you may also realize that something needs to be fixed, something needs to be explored or changed. The 24th is also very interesting because the Sun in 10th house has a positive aspect with Mars in your 8th house. Great time for being more proactive at work, with your business, with social projects, and also money-wise, financially. You can invest into something. Again, be cautious, especially if that's brand new with Mercury retro. It could be tricky, but it doesn't mean that while Mercury is retrograde, we have to stop and put everything on hold. life goes on, and sometimes we just have to do something, even if it's, you know, if it's Mercury retrograde, we still have to do it. So don't take things too drastically, like black and white. Sometimes we have to be flexible. And this is one of the aspects that can help you to be proactive, to be braver, to take action, take some steps. Again, as we said, work-wise and financially wise as well. And on the 25th of February, Mercury retro is joining the Sun in your 10th house. A very active period when you can be mentally focused on your work and your business. But what's important here is to ask yourself, what is it that you truly want? Is there something that you really want to change? Something which is not in alignment with your own desires and how you have imagined your career to look like? This is a great time for connecting with your inner self and with your deepest desires. What do you want when it comes to business and work? Ideas may pop up from the past. You can restart old project or negotiate with partners which you have connected with in the past. So overall, the main focus is work, business, career. The 26th, again, Mercury in 10th house has a positive aspect with Mars in 8th house. Ideas from the past related to finances or certain risks or certain investments. Don't be afraid to be proactive, to share your ideas with others. If you find appropriate, you can also take certain risks, but that needs to be, you know, you have to be cautious with that. But if it's something you have already done or you have tried before, you can try it again, you can do it again. Or you may just have a better idea about what needs to be fixed when it comes to the financial stuff and the business stuff. And the 28th of February, this is the last day which brings major events during this month. Challenging aspect between Venus in 11th house and Pluto in 8th house. It means that you have to be very careful with financial steps, with investments. Things may not be as you have planned them, or there might be something that it's kind of a secret or you haven't known about, so be careful. I wouldn't recommend you financial decisions or giving money to other people, especially friends. There may even be a confrontation between your friends and you related to money, so perhaps it would be better not to connect those two things together at that point. At the same time, there is another aspect that's a positive one, Mercury retrograde in 10th house, together with Uranus in your 12th house. Nice aspect that can bring also intuitive ideas from the past, some kind of deep insights or breakthroughs that you can make, but only if you look into yourself, if you dive deeper, explore things, and try to be in alignment with your inner self and your inner desires. But all of that can also bring something concrete, something practical that you may apply in your business, in your work, or when it comes to social projects as well. And with that, we have covered the most important astrology events during February. As we said, the major theme is spirituality, growth, self-healing, self-reflection, and just being in alignment with your own desires, with what you really want in life. It can be spiritually very transformative, and I'm so excited about it. So please let me know what kind of things you're going through and what you're most excited about, and do you feel inspired by this beautiful Jupiter-Neptune connection? Because honestly, I really am. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you next month.